Well, here we go. He's back. St. Catharines Mayor Mat Siscoe without a wonderful spread on the table that some other mayor brought earlier this week.
So, for the record, the difference between me and Diamond Jim Diodati from Niagara Falls is I'm not afraid to face the tough questions. So I don't need to buy off the host.
You say, okay, let's get to it then. What do we have here? There is a bunch of stuff to get to. So Niagara Region recently announced building temporary shelters. This is a big one for you guys.
Yeah, this is massive. This is something I've been working on now for basically the whole year. It's the 1 year anniversary comes up, and this has been on my plate the whole time. Temporary shelter that's coming to downtown St. Catharines. It's going to house 55 individuals, private rooms to make sure that we're meeting all the requirements. There's been a lot of legal decisions this last year about the requirements for when you build these shelters. We're meeting all of that. It's going to clean up a lot of the issues. We have tent encampments in parts of the downtown. This is right sort of in the middle. It's going to allow us to prioritize the folks that are living in the parks, living rough right now, in Pierpont and in Montebello Park and in the surrounding neighborhoods. There's been a little bit of pushback in the neighborhood, but I think people are starting to understand, no, having this located means that we're going to be getting folks out of the public areas where we're going to be getting them into the shelter, and it's housing first. So the goal is shelter for now, we're getting you into permanent housing, and we're getting you off the streets.
Well, and the timing for this too, as the weather is turning.
And this is the biggest thing. We knew that our temporary seasonal shelters weren't going to be opening this year. The region actually, because of the time it took to find this location, has to open up a short-term temporary shelter right now to pick up the slack. But the goal is this leads to a permanent shelter. This is not the permanent shelter, it's a temporary structure, but it's a good news story for the community.
How do you select for the 55 people?
The region has a by name list. They've done a lot of work in identifying the individuals, so we have that list, and this along with, there's another shelter that's opening in the next 2 or 3 days in Niagara Falls, a permanent shelter. We're expanding our capacity to meet the needs in our community.
Okay. Taxes, deferral program.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. This was a big part of my campaign. It was a property tax increase deferral program for low-income seniors. And we got it passed unanimously at council last week. It's a tool in the toolbox. It allows people to lock in their property taxes on the city side. I'm pushing the region of Niagara to bring in a program for this as well. It gives people the comfort knowing they know exactly what they're going to be paying year after year. It's the same numbers it was this year, it'll be next year and the year after. We've had a lot of positive feedback. Some people said this isn't right for me, but I know it's right for my neighbor. And my office has gotten a lot of questions since it was passed, saying like, when's it going to open up? When can we do it? So staff are figuring that out. It'll be on the docket in the new year for next year.
Okay. Strategic plan, not exciting stuff, but important stuff.
No, I strongly encourage folks, engage stc.ca. If you're in St. Catharines, you want to have a say in guiding the strategic plan. The strategic plan is going to guide our budgets for the next couple of years. And so, if there are areas that people think we need to be spending time, energy, money on, this is the opportunity to do it. Engage stc.ca.
Okay. You had a visitor last week.
Yeah.
Tell us. The Duchess of Edinburgh.
She is lovely.
Okay.
I will just say, I tried to explain this to my wife because we got to go to a gala that was put on by the Lincoln and Welland Regiment.
Did you wear a tux?
I wore a tux.
Whoa.
Yes. My wife and I looked, I think, ravishing. But I will say she's a very wonderful person. Like, we had a chance to talk. She does a lot of work with causes related to disabilities. That's near and dear to my family's heart. And she's just wonderful. I saw her, speaking to kids at the Armory on Sunday. She really is, she seems like a wonderful person.
Why was she in town?
So she's the Colonel-in-Chief of the Lincoln and Welland Regiment. There's a Duchess's Cup where it's a shooting competition. The Lynx and Winks won it last year, so they got to host it this year. She came to visit for that. They won it again, so shout out to the Lincoln and Welland Regiment. Very proud of them.
Leads right into Remembrance Day.
Remembrance Day, yes. So I will be at City Hall at 10 a.m. on Saturday to lead, or I don't lead the parade, the Legion leads the parade in the Lynx and Winks, but we'll be at the main cenotaph in St. Catharines for that. We also have the Meriton cenotaph. They do, the Meriton branch of the Legion does their Remembrance Day ceremony at the same time. We had a couple of ceremonies last weekend, obviously the big one with the Duchess, but also the Port Dalhousie Legion, the Polish Legion. So Remembrance Day is a big deal in St. Catharines, and I appreciate that. I'm a Navy brat who grew up around the military, and I'm really thankful to know that my community cares this much about our vets. We've lost folks in the Afghanistan conflict. it's important to our community. So it's comforting to see, and it's good. Given everything that's going on in the world right now, people are remembering and understanding, what the cost of war is, and it's important for us to always remember we get to do what we do because they sacrificed.
That's on Saturday. Where are you Friday night?
Friday night, yes. The Brantford Bulldogs.
There you go.
And the Niagara Ice Dogs are playing in Brantford, and Mayor Kevin Davis has invited me down. We're coming up with some form of in-season challenge. Both teams are,
A little slow starts?
Slow starts, but I'm pretty enthusiastic. The Ice Dogs had a rough year last year, but this team is definitely better, and they're on the upswing. They're getting points in most of their games, and go Ice Dogs.
Yeah. How's your Texas Rangers doing?
World Series champions, my friend. World Series champions. And my Ottawa Senators won last night.
Right. You just cheer for the team that I don't cheer for.
I can't think of who did they beat last night. What was the score?
You just love to do that, don't you? And Nat, you do these from here on in, unless he brings something for us, which he didn't. I think I was pretty easy on you, too. Man, there's got to be tougher questions in here somewhere, isn't there? Oh, man. Okay.
Go Ice Dogs.
St. Catharines Mayor, Mat Siscoe. 2 T's.
Oh, wow.